I think a lot of these are things that I would tell my younger self. Hello, is this on? I have been thinking about shooting a video like this for the longest time. I feel like in this 2 decade long life, which is honestly not that long also, but it is the longest I have lived. I feel like there are a lot of lessons I learned. And of course, life is a whole process of learning and unlearning at all times. But I just wanted to highlight a few things that I learned in my 20 years of life. And I'm sure there are more than just 20, but I felt like highlighting these particular 20. So let's get into it. I'm not gonna go in like a particular order. It's just all like in a jumbled way. So the first point that I'll talk about is it's just a paper and pen, and a little bit of journaling can do a lot of healing. This is something I've figured over time. A lot many times, like I would be upset about something or like something that would be bothering me, and it will just take me to take out 10 minutes, write it down, and like get it off my chest. Usually, I like to rant, like I'll talk to my mom or like I'll talk to someone and I'll feel great. But then, how much are you gonna like do that? I think a lot many times just writing out a lot of things, it really clears your mind. I think building this habit of regularly noting down your thoughts, I think that gives you a lot of clarity. It's like a sort of help that I don't even know how to articulate how it makes a difference, but it just does. And I recommend it to anyone who wants to try this. The second point in my list is something that I was told a lot growing up as a child. This is something my Masi would say. You are the company you keep. Like there are a lot of people who say like you are the sum total of the five people you surround yourself with. And that is really true. So, one of the biggest life hacks you can have is surrounding yourself with the right people. And yes, definitely, as we are younger, we don't always know who these right people are. But I think just the knowledge of knowing that the exact company you keep is somewhat the definition of you really brings a lot of insight into you, helps you understand a lot more clearly about who you even want to surround yourself with. Once you start consciously choosing those people instead of just letting anyone and everyone in, you are going to see the difference. You're going to see what sort of an impact just being a little bit selective about who you surround yourself with, especially how much you surround yourself with, is important. Really choose your people. Point number three. Oh my god. This. I think every time in my life when I come across this particular instance, I feel like I figured it, and then it happens again, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So I think my third point is you're gonna change beyond your imagination. Even though you are someone who likes to like plan a lot of things even go according to your plan, you're probably not even gonna be able to fathom how much you're gonna change. A lot many times you're gonna grow up, discover certain things about yourselves that you didn't even realize were there. I think a sub point of this is going to be, if you have the means, if you have the opportunity, then choose to move out of your home city. It's very easy to do it when you're young, when you're a student, when you don't have responsibility of a job. And if you have that opportunity, I highly recommend you take it. But also, depending on your personal situation, I feel like a lot of the changes that I saw in myself happened after I moved out of Mumbai. As much as I love Mumbai, I feel like just moving away from home, doing a lot of things by yourself, you learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about your patterns and like who you are as a person, who you are without people you've grown up around with, the definition of who you thought you were. And it really gives you a chance to build like a new persona, I would say. Oh, this is my favorite. My fourth point is, more often than not, प्यार से मांगने से सब कुछ मिल जाता है. It's as simple as that. I'm not saying it always happens, but most of the times, if you just learn how to ask for things, you've cracked a lot of your life, at least until the 20s, is what I can say. Something that I have learned from myself, things that I have accomplished from fifth point is so many things in life are pure strategy and nothing else. Also, adding on to that, preparation is the key in most cases. A lot many times, just sitting down with myself, clearing my head, visualizing what lays ahead, coming up with a plan for how I'm gonna tackle it, just works wonders. And I feel like we talk about things like this a lot, but we don't practice it enough. Something as simple as a competitive exam. Just knowing and preparing for the exam is not enough. You also need to know the time constraints, patterns, or the significant negative marking, and so many things. Something as simple as if you're about to participate in a running race, understanding where to position yourself, where to keep your attention to. There are going to be so many distractions. What are you going to choose to give your attention to? It works for me to just sit down, take a deep breath, and just figure it out for myself as to what it is that I want. Personally helps me a lot. Oh, this is my favorite. This is point number 6. Suno sabki karo apni. It means take opinions, take feedback, take points, ask everyone of their thoughts on things, but in the end, make your own calculated decision. Be open to listening to everyone and then weigh out the consequences yourself. Seventh point is something that I thought was just there, but then in this last year has just only reaffirmed my belief in the same. Seventh point is that realism and optimism can coexist. In fact, it's only realistic to be optimistic. Oh, point number 8. It's not a learning, but it is also a learning. Playtime is the best time of life. Being younger, I would get up at 8 a.m. in the morning during a summer break on my own to go down and play with my friends. It was the best time ever. It was just pure endorphins rushing through my body. So much joy and enthusiasm, so much excitement, and the sun and everything was just so worth being there for. If you're younger and you have friends around who go down to play every day, really value that. It's sad to say that it does not happen all the time when you get older. I still stand by it. I think playtime was the best time. Point number 9, not singing and dancing because you think you're not very good at it is a bad idea. You don't have to be good at everything. Singing and dancing can also be activities that you do for fun. You don't have to be Lata Mangeshkar. You don't have to be like the best out there. Suck at it and still enjoy it. Please don't give it up just because you're not good at it. If you enjoy it, who cares? Just do it. Point number 10, very important. I know a lot of people can't control it, it just comes naturally. Stress is only gonna make things worse, especially when you're younger and you have a lot of exams to give, or like you participate in competitions or even just life situations. You inevitably are either scared or you're just really stressed. It's gonna happen, it's very natural. Standing that being calm, being in control, and not letting stress get the better of you is gonna work miracles. Point number 11 is more often than not, the rules are in your head. A lot many times it comes from going to school and like being exposed to all these rules and regulations. It is very easy for the mind to see all these rules and just follow them because you're very clear in the instructions given to you. But a lot many times, especially as you grow older, there are no rules, there are no certain ways of being. You have a lot of choice and a lot of freedom in how you want things to be. A lot many times, of course, it's not something that everyone has, unfortunately. So a lot many times we also do have the right to choose, and we often tend to forget that. Point number 12, my favorite. I think if this is something that you like just understand, you're gonna save yourself so much time, is that you're only losing if you're lying to yourself. I'm not saying it's okay to lie. To above all, be truthful to yourself. You gotta understand, when you're at least truthful with yourself, you know What's up? That just changes everything. No matter what, just don't lie to yourself. Point number 13. This is something I think I saw it in Suits. In Suits, they once say that people are patterns. If someone did something once, they're very likely to do it again. It's only proven true ever since I've observed it. You have to know that if someone did something once, they are very likely to do it again. So just choose who you choose to trust. Point number 14. I think this sort of relates to the rules point that I had. The rules are in your number 14 is find ways to remind yourself about free will. As you grow older, you realize that you have so much free will in life. Like in a lot of tiny little ways. You can decide what color of clothes you want to wear today. You can decide if you want to have an apple or an orange today. There are so many things we are spoiled for choice. Just reminding yourself about all the free will that you have, it's just a great hack, is something that I figured in these 20 years. Point number 15. This is something my friend once said in a conversation and has struck with me. She said, life is the art of decision making. I think just figuring out this art is a part of the fun itself. Also, just this understanding that this is how it works. Point number 16 is you don't have to finish that series. A lot many times I would just start binging something and feel this compulsion to finish it. You don't have to just finish some random series that you don't even like just because you started it. That compulsion is going to bring you nothing. So if you don't like it, just stop watching it. Would have saved me a lot of time, but now that I've figured it, I think it really helps me. Point number 70. I'm gonna reshoot this point because I felt like it didn't come out well the first time. Point number 17 is something that I learned from observing my mother. She is one of the most solution oriented people I have ever seen. She's very like, okay, solution first kind of a person. Not just that, but also her approach to how she comes up with solutions. If she needs help in something, asking for help. Also, other than that, if she can't manage to solve a problem on her own, she will figure out who is the best person to even point her to the direction of someone who can actually help her with that, and she will reach out to that person. And also, apart from the approach, I think it's just the whole commitment to finding a solution instead of dwelling on the problem, because of course we all have a certain processing time that we take to understand and analyze the problem before we are able to move on. Just something that I've seen with her a lot is someone who just prioritizes getting to the root of the problem, dealing with that first. I think that was a really helpful gem of mine. Point number 18. Rest, rest, and rest. Rest if you want to go far. I think this is something that has taken me a lot to realize. I think when I was young, I really didn't value taking rest and, like, giving myself that little break to sort of figure things out. Like just the basic concept that, hey, your mind, your body needs to like take a break and then figure things out, and you're gonna do better. So the sooner you come to the realization that a good amount of work followed by a good amount of rest and then continue working is going to be way better than just working. Point number 19. Belief system is everything. This is also something that I just heard a lot growing up, but I think as I moved away from home, I also found it far more practical in life as I inculcated it. It just makes so much sense. So many things in life are just the village system. So many things are just, you think you can get that job is only when you're gonna apply, right? If you think you're not gonna get it, you will not even apply for it. What do you think has a higher probability of you getting the job if you apply for it? That is just one of the examples, but something as simple as I think I can run for 10 minutes. It starts with your mind. It starts with you telling yourself that, hey, I can do it. Of course you can do it, of course your body can do it, but the whole game is to make yourself believe things, and you're halfway there. It's true for a lot of things. See that again and again, and just hit me just again and again. That you could believe, so you could do it. Point number 20. Honestly, my favorite. dress up when you're feeling low. This is something I don't know what is the logic behind it. Just really works for me. Every time I'm not feeling my best, just dressing up does wonders. I don't know what it is or why it works or like how it affects my mood. If I had to write a letter to my younger self, tell her about the 20 things that I have learned, these are going to be the probably top 20. Also, a part of the fun has been to like figure all of this out growing up. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you are someone who's 20 or above 20, you have any learnings or something you would tell your younger self, comment down below. Tell me what it would be. Thank you so much. Bye.